All right, deep divers, we're back and ready to really unpack all this stuff you guys have been sending us.
So much good material.
I know. So tonight we're going to do a deep dive on New Year's Eve journaling.
Perfect timing, too.
It is, right? It's getting to be that time of year.
Absolutely.
And we've got this great article from LaStallion with like 50 journaling prompts.
50.
That's a lot, right?
Right.
So we're going to help you find the ones that really, really speak to you. Because New Year's Eve, it's kind of like, it is like that universal time for reflection.
Everyone's thinking about it, at least a little bit.
Right, like where have I been and where am I going? But 50 prompts, I mean, where do you even begin?
That can feel overwhelming, yeah.
Totally overwhelming. So good thing you've got us. So let's break it down. LaStallion, very helpfully, has kind of divided these 50 prompts into 5 sections.
Okay.
Each one's got 10 prompts, so we've got reflecting on the year behind, which seems like a pretty logical place to start.
Makes sense.
Then we go into letting go of the past, which that's a good one. Then celebrating your achievements, they're very important.
Love that.
Setting intentions for the new year. And finally, looking forward with hope.
I like how they organize that. It gives you a nice framework.
Right. It's like a roadmap for self-reflection.
Exactly.
So let's dig into that first section, reflecting on the year behind. And I was immediately drawn to prompt number 9, which is, what was a surprising moment that happened this year?
Ooh, fun.
Right. Write about how this unexpected event changed your outlook or plans. So, something that maybe totally blindsided you, good or bad.
Those can be the most powerful moments sometimes. The ones you don't see coming.
And they totally can change, like, everything.
Absolutely. You think you're going one way and bam, suddenly you're on a whole new path.
It's like those detours that actually lead to something amazing.
I love that. The detours.
Yeah. Speaking of detours, let's move on to that next section. Letting go of the past.
Okay, this one I think is going to be juicy.
I know. And this prompt number 2 just jumped out at me. It says, what limiting beliefs held you back this year? Oof.
Yeah.
Write about how these beliefs affected your choices and how you plan to overcome them in the future. So this is where it gets real.
This is where the work begins.
Yeah.
Because those beliefs, sometimes we don't even know they're there.
They're so sneaky, right? Like under the surface.
But they are controlling everything. If you believe you can't do something, you're never going to try it.
And then you'll never know.
Yeah.
That makes me think of Carol Dweck's work on growth mindset.
Oh, absolutely. It's like fixed mindset versus growth mindset.
So maybe this prompt is about recognizing those fixed mindsets and shifting to more of a growth mindset.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let's keep going. We've got to celebrate some wins. Celebrating your achievements.
Yes.
Prompt number 6. This is a good one. How did you step out of your comfort zone this year?
Oh, I like that.
All right. Write about what you learned from taking risks and how it expanded your horizons. I think sometimes we forget to celebrate those moments.
We get so focused on what we didn't accomplish, what we still want to do,
Totally. And it's so important to acknowledge those times when you did something that scared you a little.
Because even small steps outside of your comfort zone can lead to massive growth.
Absolutely. And you build that resilience.
Exactly.
Okay, now it's time to get intentional, right? Setting intentions for the new year. And prompt number 4 really stood out to me here. It asks, how do you want to prioritize your time in the new year?
Good one.
So key, right? Reflect on what matters most to you and how you plan to organize your schedule around those priorities.
Because if you don't make those decisions, someone else will make them for you.
That's so true. Life will just take over.
It will. You'll be busy, but are you busy doing the things that really light you up?
That's the question. All right, last but not least, we have looking forward with hope.
My favorite part.
And prompt number 7 really grabbed my attention. It says, what excites you about the unknown of the new year?
Ooh, that's good.
Right. Write about how embracing uncertainty can lead to unexpected opportunities. I mean, it's kind of a paradox.
It is. We crave certainty, but then the unknown, that's where the magic happens.
It is where the magic happens. So what if we viewed uncertainty not as a threat, but as an invitation to explore new possibilities?
Oh, I love that. It's like opening the door to serendipity.
It is. Okay, so, wow, we've covered a lot of ground here.
You have.
We've talked about reflecting, letting go, celebrating, setting intentions, and looking forward with hope. So much good stuff. Anything really jumping out at you so far?
I'm really struck by how interconnected all of these prompts are. It's not just about looking back or just about setting goals. It's about how those two things inform and shape each other.
It's like a feedback loop almost.
Yeah.
I love that. But before we go too deep into that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into some of the other listener notes and talk about how we can really apply these prompts in our lives.
Can't wait. Yeah, it really is. And that's what makes it, I don't know, so much more powerful. It's not just about like a New Year's resolution.
It's deeper.
Way deeper, yeah.
So I'm curious, for you personally, is there a particular journaling prompt that you find yourself going back to, one that you've really found helpful?
Honestly, that one about limiting beliefs has been a game changer for me. It's just so easy to let those negative thoughts run the show, you know?
Without even realizing it.
Exactly. But once you actually write them down and like really look at them, they kind of lose their power. It's like, oh, there you are again, trying to hold me back.
I love that. Shining a light on them. It makes them seem less scary somehow.
Way less scary.
And it's funny because this whole idea of journaling, it can also be a powerful tool for manifestation.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever thought about it that way?
Yeah, totally. When we write down what we want, it's like we're sending a message out to the universe.
I love that. And it makes it more real somehow.
It does. It makes it more tangible.
Right. You're not just thinking it. And I think that ties in so well with that prompt about prioritizing your time.
It all connects.
It does. Because if you're serious about manifesting those dreams, you have to make space for them in your life.
Right. Right. You can't just write it down and then go about your day like nothing's changed.
It's about action. It's about alignment.
Yeah.
What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to?
Making conscious choices.
So we've talked about reflecting, letting go, celebrating, setting intentions. But what about that last part? Looking forward with hope.
Okay, yeah.
That feels almost like the culmination of it all.
It does. It's like taking everything we've learned, everything we've realized, and using that to create a vision for the future.
The future we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that prompt about embracing uncertainty, I think that really captures it, you know?
It does. It's like, okay, I don't know exactly what's coming, but I'm open to it.
I'm ready. Bring it on.
It's like surrendering to the flow of life, but still holding on to your intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That surrender, I think that's where hope really comes in.
This is such a great conversation. We've covered so much.
Yeah.
From like the really practical stuff about journaling to, I don't know, some deeper stuff too.
A little bit of philosophy thrown in.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
what does it all mean? But I feel like it's such a new perspective now.
Me too. And what I love about these prompts is that you can use them anytime, not just on New Year's Eve.
Oh, for sure.
Anytime you need a little boost.
A little clarity.
Yeah.
And before we wrap up, I want to come back to something LaStallion says in the article. It's that question. Imagine looking back on this next year. What do you hope to write about on New Year's Eve 2025?
That's a powerful question.
It is. It's like writing a letter to your future self.
Totally. So what would be in your letter? What do you hope to see?
I think for me, it comes back to that sense of alignment. I want to be able to look back and say, yeah, I lived this year in a way that felt authentic to me.
Authenticity.
Like I honored my values. I took some risks, you know. I expanded my horizons. What about you? What would your letter say?
Oh, let's see. I think for me, it's about continuing to cultivate that sense of curiosity, that openness to the unknown. I want to look back and see a year filled with new experiences.
New connections.
Yeah, and hopefully those limiting beliefs, I want to see them getting smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror.
I love that. So it's not just about the year ahead. It's like, it's about the ongoing journey.
Exactly.
And that journey is what makes life so exciting.
It does. It really does.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
I know. So much good stuff.
I feel so inspired to, I don't know, approach this New Year's Eve with more purpose, more intention.
Me too. And it's not just about goals. It's about understanding ourselves.
And creating a life that reflects that.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up, I want to encourage everybody listening, just embrace this power of journaling.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it can be so profound.
It can change your life.
And who knows, maybe you'll discover you're an amazing writer.
You never know.
But even if you don't, the benefits are like immeasurable.
Totally.
So as we close out, I want to leave you with this thought.
Mm-hmm.
You have a story to tell.
We all do.
And journaling is a way to give voice to that story.
You honor your experiences.
So let's all make this a year of telling our stories, embracing our truths, and living our lives with intention and purpose.
Cheers to that.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's
Yep.
true, isn't it? There's something about like getting it out of your head.
Onto the page.
Yeah. And then you can kind of see it more clearly, get some perspective
Absolutely. And I think that's why these journaling prompts are so helpful, you know?
to give you a starting point.
They do, and they make you ask yourself some hard questions sometimes.
Questions you might not ask yourself otherwise.
Right, exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, What would you say to someone who's like, I don't know, a little hesitant to start journaling? Maybe they're intimidated or they think they don't have anything interesting to say.
Oh, I've been there. I think we all have, but honestly, just start.
Don't overthink it.
Don't worry about being perfect or profound or whatever. Just get a notebook or open a document on your computer and just start writing.
See what comes out.
You might be surprised. And you might even discover you love to write.
That would be a great bonus, wouldn't it?
It would, but even if you don't, find your inner Hemingway or whatever, the benefits for like self-awareness, personal growth, I mean, that's the real magic.
That's so well said.
Hmm.
And as we close out, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. You have a story to tell.
You do.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And journaling is a way to give voice to that story. It's a way to honor your experiences.
And create a legacy.
A legacy of self-reflection, of growth.
Yeah.
So let's all make this a year of telling our stories, embracing our truths, and really living our lives with intention.
I love that.
Happy New Year, everyone!